Mr. Chancellor, Madam President, Carleton graduates, ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Shona Brown. Dr. Brown's journey embraces many qualities, including a strong technical background, critical thinking ability, combined with a thorough understanding of the social implication of technology. Throughout her career, Shona demonstrated her ability to come up with innovative business models that proved to be successful and sustainable. The roots of her curiosity began here at Carleton University, where Dr. Brown received a Bachelor of Engineering degree in Computer Systems Engineering. She was a student, actually, in the first course I ever taught here at Carleton University as a professor, and I still remember that class. I remember Shona as a smart and very engaged student who not only excelled in her courses, but who also was involved in many extracurricular activities. After completing her bachelor at Carleton, Shona became a Rhodes Scholar and joined Oxford University, where she received a master's degree in economics and philosophy. She then received her Ph.D. degree and did postdoctoral studies at Stanford University, the Department of Industrial Engineering and Engineering Management. As a member of Google's executive team since 2003, Shona led many projects that were instrumental in creating many of the technologies that drive the web and that drive business today. Shona's responsibilities as Senior Vice President, Business Operations at Google were to build both the People Operations and Business Operations Group. In 2011, she transitioned to a role leading all of Google's technology for social impact efforts, and in January 2013, she became a Googler emeritus and moved into an advisory role with the company. Dr. Brown is the author of Competing on the Edge, Strategy as Structured Chaos, which introduced the new strategic model for competing in volatile markets. Shona's vision, curiosity, critical thinking ability, and imagination played an important role in creating many web-based solutions that we now take for granted. Mr. Chancellor, in recognition of her groundbreaking leadership and innovation in engineering, social media, and business, I request that you confer the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, upon Shona Brown.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Governors and upon recommendation of the University Senate, I confer this degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. Congratulations.
Thank you. Madam Vice Chancellor, Chair of the Board of Governors, graduates, and honored guests, I'm delighted to address you today. I'd like to use my brief time with you today to tell you a story about career choices, specifically about my choice to join a tiny private company that most people had not heard of back in 2003 called Google. At the time, I had recently left a career in management consulting, where I spent almost a decade working with technology companies on their strategies for growth and innovation. So I knew what kind of work excited me. This was work where I was part of applying technology solutions to solve important real-world problems. At the time that I left that, I was looking for an opportunity to run a foundation with a focus on supporting technology-driven solutions to society's most pressing problems. In the midst of that job search, I visited with the team at Google about a leadership role that they were trying to fill. Google was not a foundation, but I decided they had a technology, something called a search engine, that I thought could be pretty transformative for the world. Also, I liked the team, and I thought I could play an important role on it. My gut told me this was something I should do, even though it wasn't what I had specifically had in mind. I said to myself, Shona, don't overthink this. Still, once I got an offer, I did build a simple model. I decided I could last on my savings for a couple of years without earning too much money. So if I lived frugally, I could tolerate the 75% pay cut I was being offered. So I decided to take the risk. By the way, my model assumed that the stock price for Google would climb as high as $85, so that worked out pretty well. I stayed at Google in an operating role until 2 years ago, when I moved into an advisory role. Why? Well, as long as I woke up in the morning and headed to the office, excited about my day ahead, I knew I was doing the right thing. When that was no longer the case, it was time for a change. So what does my story tell us about career choices? My first message for you is don't overthink them. Some of you may know exactly what you want to do professionally and have known so for years. But I suspect that most of you probably have only a general idea of what you enjoy and what you're skilled at. And furthermore, you've hopefully spent some of your time at Carleton building knowledge and skill in this general area of interest. But exactly what your career will be, should be, that may be more difficult to determine. I find that many folks early in their career get very anxious about which precise next step to take. My message is very simple. It largely does not matter. There are many different paths, but precisely which options you choose and in what order don't really affect the outcome. Well, yes, there are some truly terrible choices you could make, but generally, when you look back in 10 years, or certainly in 20, your first step will be simply that, a first step. So don't sweat it too much. My second message for you is now is the time to embrace risk. It's a good time to take risks because your options are broadest right now. Sorry to say, but your options are broadest right now because with very few exceptions, we all get more risk averse as we get older. And because experimenting and failing spectacularly comes at quite a low cost early in your career. Most importantly, experimenting and failing is the best way to build experience. In fact, I would argue the bigger the failure, the greater the experience building opportunity. Failures really are the building bricks of experience, and what you need at this point in your career most is experience. My third message to you is do something you're passionate about. Right about now, you might be saying, sure, it's nice to do something that excites you, but paying the rent excites me too. And I can appreciate that. But the way I think about it, in our lifetimes, we'll spend more time asleep in bed than in any other single place. So by the way, I would splurge on a comfy bed. But after our beds, for almost all of you, the place you will spend the most time in your lifespan is in your workplace. So really, it should be somewhere you're excited to go every day. I also don't believe there is a passion that with creativity, you can't figure out how to make a profession. You'd be amazed what people get paid to do. Let me just give you one example. Twitch Interactive is a company that broadcasts video gamers playing video games while commenting on their own play. This company was recently purchased by Amazon for close to $1 billion. How does it work? individuals sign up and they create their own channels to broadcast their gaming activity. Users can subscribe to those channels, and advertisers can show ads on those channels. Today, individuals with the best performing channels are earning more than $200,000 a year by broadcasting themselves playing video games. I'm not suggesting that you all run out and start careers as professional video gamers, but if that is what you're passionate about, you can make it a profession. So in conclusion, don't overthink your next career move, because it really does not matter. Embrace sufficient risk that if you fail, it will be a spectacular learning experience. And finally, ensure that whatever choice you make, it's one you're truly passionate about. Thank you.